Hey, welcome back to this mini lecture on teacher shortage. My name is Dino. Welcome. I'm going to show a link to a video. It's titled Severe Teacher Shortage Across the Country on Good Morning America, which probably led to viewers to having a bad morning. If you watch the first 1 minute and 30 seconds, it gives you an idea of it. Here's the link and it's below in the metadata. If you stop it there, what do you think are the reasons for shortage? There are three main ones. Maybe even before you see them, what do you think they are causing them in right at this moment? First is pandemic burnout. As you imagine, teachers that were teaching during that time and afterwards probably felt a fair bit of stress with the idea of being in a global pandemic and being in a school physically with students, a lot of people in a small space, may not have great filtration. Also, after students leaving school, they might have felt really stressed from having to deal with students who have been out of school for a long time and some of the behavioral issues that have arisen. That's one. School safety, I'm sure you've seen the news at different times. There's often safety issues in schools that can be quite violent, and I don't want to get into any of them. I don't want to scare you, but I'm sure you know what some of those are. And then finally, low pay. Depending on the jurisdiction, there can be wildly different rates of pay. And if you get paid poorly, you're worried about safety, and you add a pandemic and its fallout and the burnout that results. That seems to be a couple of reasons for why there be a teacher shortage. Do you have any thoughts you want to add to that? Please, add them in the comments below. There have been various attempts to address teacher shortages, especially over the past couple of years. For example, in 2023, there are some, quote, from the video, quote, unconventional alternatives to deal with this shortage. One is waiving teacher certification for certain roles, and that's in Houston, Texas. In Michigan, one other alternative is raising wages, and another one in Michigan again is accepting out-of-state teacher certification. So that would allow people, say, in neighboring states like Illinois, etc., to come in and teach. B is attracting more candidates for keeping schools open. So these are some ways that back in 2022, when a similar teacher shortage was happening, what some states were doing. Alabama was lowering requirements to receive teaching certificates, so you get one a little bit easier than you would before. Perhaps they're decreasing the amount of field work placements you have, et cetera. In Florida, they turned to military vets to teach, and some of the veterans did not, unfortunately, have degrees, so they might not be as academically qualified as their peers who may have these degrees. And then finally, in Texas, is moving to 4-day school weeks. Do you have any thoughts on all of those different attempts to address teacher shortage? Are they good? Are they poor? What do you think? One of the major fallouts from teacher shortage, obviously, besides just having teachers in the classroom, is confidence in public schools. You can see year over year from 2021 to 2022, the number of respondents saying they felt a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in public schools was 32% in 2021, and that decreased to 28% in 2022, and that has decreased 4% in just 1 year. So again, even if you don't think it's a big problem, a lot of people who view education, public education on the outside, think it is. In summary, do you have any ideas on the teacher shortage? What do you think are the worst causes for it? Is it the pandemic? Is it the poor pay? Is it the fear of some kind of violence or safety? What are the best solutions? Is it better pay? Is it alternative teaching certifications? Is it pulling in vets, etc., who may not have as formal of an academic background into the classroom? And then ultimately, what do you think the short and long-term consequences? Ideally, in the short term, this gets resolved and there's only like a sort of short blip in terms of how, say, students perform or how schools perform as a whole. And ideally, there won't be long-term consequences. But what do you think of, pulling kids out of school or having their schooling being hybrid, both in person and face-to-face during COVID, and some of the consequences of that, both, again, for the short and the long term? That was teacher shortage. Thanks for watching. My name is Dino. Please feel free to leave comments like I suggested. Please feel free to like this video, and please feel free to subscribe to this channel if you want to see some of my content. Take care.